What you know you can't explain. But you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Experience the awakening. Brilliant anonymous researchers. Patriots, join us in the Patriot Army. Trust the plan, pain coming. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. RedStateTalkRadio.com, Brighteon.tv, Rumble.com/MG Show. The end won't be for everyone. That choice to know will be yours. Where we go, one we go all. Fight, 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 and fight we will. We fight every day right here on the MG Show. Oh boy, now we have a hot mic. Oh my gosh, my mic is actually on fire right here. Oh my God, we have a hot mic. Where is welcome to the show. Iran disinformation, fake news is faking. New York Times is New York's Timesing, and we're here to set the record straight. There is a news flash for everybody involved. Just in case you send this video to somebody else, I just want them to let them know we are not at war with Iran.
What?
In fact, we are not at war with Iran.
Are you sure?
The United States of America at this present time is not at war with Iran. Everybody's saying, oh, the president's doing this, the president's doing that. They have no idea what the president's doing. Nobody knows what the president's doing. Except if you read Q, you might have an idea as to what the president is doing, Shady.
Thank you so much for explaining that and being so specific, because I'm having a very difficult time, sir, navigating the current media atmosphere out there. People keep telling me that I'm at war. People keep telling me that war is inevitable. People keep telling me that Iran is a threat, Jeff. If you had read and paid attention to those Q drops, you might understand something a little different. You might understand that the Iran is probably the weakest that it has ever been because of the weakness of the current ability of them to access classified information through their back channel clown networks, which they've been doing to us for 100 years, Jeff, making us think that they're a boogeyman.
Amazing. And remember, what people don't understand, and let me just explain this very, very clearly. When you don't have an enemy, you create one. Okay?
Right.
So the military intelligence agencies, CIA, Mossad, they're infecting both Israel and Iran and North Korea and any other boogeyman state there is, okay? You guys understand that, right? So when they're expending their ammunition back and forth, what happens when they're out of ammunition? Who's in charge then?
Exactly right. And how do you play the game? What does game theory mean? What is it that we were watching this whole time? And what does it mean to atrophy your enemy? Atrophying your enemy means weakening them, slowing them down, taking away their mouthpiece, which was the fake news. Donald Trump spent 4 years in his administration taking away their fake news mouthpiece, and now he's here and he's taking away all the people that had access that were clown networks within his administration. None of those people are there, guys. They don't have access. I think that you can tell by reading Alex Jones and General Flynn's feeds that they're not accurate. They're wrong on every single front, man. I mean, it's like they haven't been right about anything in months.
Yeah. Bannon, Tucker,
Same.
Kooky, Tucker Carlson, all of them who we thought we respected, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I might have
mean,
known
but
about
even
Bannon before most everybody, but hey,
But we can
you know,
even
Trump,
throw
Trump
Rand.
fired him too, and Trump also fired General Flynn. Now, so what Shady's trying to say, and what we're trying to say is these aren't countries like you're used to. Okay, it's not like how we were groomed to think that Israel is Israel and Iran is Iran and North Korea is North Korea and Switzerland is Switzerland. They're all separate countries because they compete in the Olympics and they're separate countries run by their leaders. No, they are run by shadow presidencies, just like you were shown with Biden. Okay, that was a shadow presidency of Barack Hussein Obama. Guaranteed that will come out. And who's running the country? Well, we know who it is. I wish I had a third term. Well, you did, didn't he? And it wasn't President Trump leading America, because I would not vote for President Trump if the last 4 years of the last 4 years of the last president, Joe Biden, whether you think he's wearing a mask or not, was in charge.
And I think that,
allegedly.
I think that this makes the perfect analogy for why you're watching this show and paying attention to this show and what it means to actually be following the truth. Because what is the analogy that Jeff just described to you so well? It's not, okay, the country's called Iran, the country's called Israel, but are they really controlled? Well, some people have the last name Romney. Some people have the last name Biden. Some people have the last name Bush, but are they really Pesur? You understand where this is all coming from. The Rothschilds have the name Rothschilds, but who's behind the Rothschilds? Why are the Rothschilds considered to be agents of the trust? Why are the Rockefellers considered to be agents of the trust? But we have all of these people like Alex Jones out there screaming and yelling at you that these are the families to be worried about. Well, why did this show and Q and Donald Trump step over all of that rhetoric right into the center? The hub of the wheel is the most important part of the wheel, guys, not the outside where the spokes touch. The inside, the hub of the wheel is where all of the stuff comes from. And now you're seeing what a network looks like. And we've proven to you what a network looks like simply because our show became bait for these people. They couldn't resist us because we had all of you guys paying attention to us, so they had to come to us and they had to like work with us. Then when we realized who they were, not only did they not answer questions, they completely pivoted and started lying about who we were.
So Shady Grove, what you voted for, what you got. I hope this is not the case.
There it is.
Okay.
There's some truth right there, ladies and gentlemen.
When people show you who they are, Shady, what do we do?
We believe them. And that picture right there should be George Bush morphing into Alex Jones. That would be the right meme.
That would be the right meme. Now, that actually got a lot of 129 comments on that, 13.1 thousand views, and there were a lot of people that went ahead and did unfollow Alex Jones. All he's doing, and today Benny has General Flynn on, Benny Johnson, who I actually like.
He can't resist. But see, what Flynn is doing right now, and you can see this, he is going to all these people. He's leaning into them. He's calling them up. He wants to be on Benny. He's realizing he's getting no press, guys. Donald Trump is like sucking up all of the energy in the room. General Flynn and all his nonsense psyopers are getting zero traction on any narrative for months now, and they're starting to atrophy. We're starting to atrophy the deep state in every single theater of war.
Yeah. And just ask yourself a simple, logical question. Why are the majority of Q attacks by quote-unquote pro-MAGA supporters coming from Alex Jones, who is Mossad-backed, and or Alex Jones' known associates? Why do they keep attacking my show, your show, this show, and our followers, Shady Grove? Why is that? Are we a threat to them?
We're a threat to them being able to insert their narratives. That's right, because our audience is not susceptible to their content. Yeah. Their content is a program, and if you aren't willing to accept the program, it's just like what Democrats do. They stop talking to the middle. They keep going further left because they can't program people that are already unprogrammed. Once someone realizes that you don't want women in men's sports, well, you no longer can program that person. They're no good to you anymore. That's what they're doing to this show. So people like Emerald Robinson and all these other people block us out, talk smack, and then act like, they keep pursuing their heroes' opinions. These are opinions from General Flynn, people. He does not have access to security clearances on any front. Not Roger Stone, not Flynn, not Jones. All the security clearance people that they had access to have been cut off, and it's obvious.
So if we look at the Q post that says General Flynn, it's talking about General Flynn, Trump administration V.2 question mark, the answer is no.
It's no.
Because the news, General Flynn is a parking attendant at West Point, and he had turned down 10 jobs. That is a Q proof.
And the symbology is so insane about what, like I went back when I was doing that thread about the Army 250 and read more about Benedict Arnold and what Washington did to Benedict Arnold and sending him to West Point, and the correlation between like what, whenever we're going to probably play in calling our president shrewd, and I do not think my president is shrewd.
We're going to do something first because we're talking about Alex Jones. So,
yes.
And we know they
together. Sorry.
Before we get started, I have to clear up.
So we're going to play Bill Cooper again, Shady Groove.
Let's play it.
Because you loved Bill Cooper, correct?
I did, and I'm going to share you guys the link too while he's playing it.
All right, you got my link to my Twitter?
Yep.
Awesome. Here we go.
Before we get started, I have to clear up a little discrepancy here. Apparently the other night, or within the last week, because I've been getting a lot of email about this, and I even received one telephone call. Apparently somebody called the Alex Jones broadcast and asked him why he didn't have me on the air, or asked him something about me. Alex Jones said he had me on the air once before, several years ago, and had to cut me off the air because of the foul language that I used. So on the air tonight, I'm going to tell you, Alex Jones, you are a bold-faced, miserable, stinking little coward liar. Now let me say that again so there's no mistake about it. You can all tell Alex Jones that I said this, and I suspect he's listening because he does. Alex Jones, you are a bold-faced, stinking, rotten little coward liar. I was only on the Alex Jones show one time. It was years ago, when I didn't know who he was, when I didn't realize what a liar and a coward and a sensationalist bullshit artist that he is. He was on one little FM station down in Texas. He wasn't on all the stuff that he's on now. And I agreed to be on his broadcast. That's when I was doing guest appearances on broadcasts, years ago. I was not cut off. I did not use any kind of foul language whatsoever. He treated me very well, and I stayed on for the whole show. Some of you in Texas know that that's true because you heard the broadcast and you taped it. Later, when I found out who Alex Jones was and what he was doing to the truth, and what a cowardly liar and sensationalist he really is, every time he called me after that, I have always refused to appear on his broadcast. Absolutely refused to lend him any credibility whatsoever by appearing on his broadcast. And that made him very angry. I've also revealed him for the lying sensationalist bullshit artist that he is by every once in a while bringing to your attention the lies and the deceit and the rumors that he spreads over the airwaves that are not good for any of us, and they're not good for the nation. They are especially not good for militia and patriots. The most disgusting broadcast he ever did was on New Year's Eve, the year 2000, the New Year's Eve, 1999, bringing in the year 2000, in which he went completely out of his mind and claimed that Russia had launched intercontinental ballistic missiles.
I remember that.
Multiple warheads at the United States of America, and actually panicked millions of people who were putting their children and their belongings in their cars and heading for the hills. Now, there's lots of things that can be said about me. Nobody needs to lie about me. Sometimes I am irritating. Sometimes I absolutely will not suffer fools and am just as rude as I can be. Nobody has to lie about me, Alex Jones. So I suggest that the next time somebody calls your broadcast and asks them about me, you tell the truth. There's lots of truth that you can tell about me. But don't ever lie on me, buddy, because I'll chop you off at your ankles. I will chew you up. I will spit you out for the lying, stinking, rotten little coward that you are.
And when we do that, people say, you're attacking, Shady.
Yeah, you're being divisive.
Ooh. No, I'm standing up for my rights. You know why? Because I got balls.
Yeah, and actually, we know the truth. The fact of the matter is, the reality of it is telling the truth is going to be divisive. So you can't have it both ways. You either want the truth or you don't, and
That's right.
That's the line right there. If you're sitting there saying, "Oh, you're being divisive," but that's coming out of your mouth, you're sitting on the fence.
And I also want to make a point about this video. I don't agree with the video with the Jews stuff, okay, guys? Because Bill Cooper himself said it's not the Jews. It's the globalist satanic elite. They forwardly look like they're a Jewish or Christian or whatever religion insert here, but it's the dark occult elite. They are Satanists. It is not the Jews. It is not the Christians. It's the Satanists, Shady.
It's the virtue signal, Jeff.
Yes.
You look past the religion. It's the virtue signal that they utilize in every single case. They are the victim. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if they're Jewish. Doesn't matter if they're Muslim. Doesn't matter if they're Christian. It doesn't matter what they are. They will use the virtue signal. You, as a human being, if you want to live a good, productive, God-fearing life, you won't use a virtue signal because a virtue signal is effectively lying. Okay,
That's right.
and people who lie usually aren't good people. So whenever you're pretending like you care about something, it's not the same as actually caring about something, just so that you can spark a conversation or attack somebody. That's a big part of the problem with this country right now, and it's a part of the reason that our conversation is infected.
And I showed you about Pepe Deluxe, how he called me an FGGOT and Brian Cates, and and I'm going to stick up for myself because no man calls me that. I'm telling you right now.
No, nobody will stand in your face and call you that.
No, because they'd be knocked down. 2 hits, them hitting the ground.
but yeah, I mean, so the fact of the matter is, like, what are we seeing here? What is playing out in front of you? What is playing out in front of you is the obvious fact that these people aren't MAGA. Okay,
Yep.
Alex Jones is not MAGA, and his business model, Jeff, he's got a business model. Think about it logically. What is Alex Jones's business model? Attack the presidency with conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
That's his business model. That's where he started. That's what he's there for. That's not what Bill Cooper was doing. Bill Cooper was attacking the bloodline, attacking the principles, the people. That's not what Alex Jones is doing. He's attacking the presidency, and he's basically creating an environment where if you listen to Alex Jones, the people that are pro the president, whoever the president is, didn't matter if it was George Bush or Barack Obama, you won't be able to listen to him.
And, again, when someone tells you and shows you who they are, you believe them. If people are like, oh, Alex Jones is awesome, show them this video, please.
Please point them to this video.
Sick of fucking Trump, man. God, I'm fucking sick of him.
Boy, that's a statement. You came to take this guy apart. We're going to finish the job.
Roland, part of me, the selfish part, wishes I'd never met Donald Trump, wishes that I'd never met Roger Stone, because unlike previous things I'd done that were game-changing, those were just time-space continuum reflections of the third big change I was going to be involved in.
He's involved with the third big change.
Donald John Trump.
He was gonna. Did you hear what he said?
I did.
He was bringing Donald John Trump into Austin.
He thinks he brought Donald John Trump into office, guys.
Yep, he sure does.
So I said it again. I said Austin into office. Because you guys are actually really good questions. This is going to be a really good thing, but I'm going to say it again in a minute. Let's drink some of this Armani. I'll try to say it. Because it's the truth, and I'm just going to say it, that I wish I never would have fucked Trump. I wish it never would have happened. And it's not that the attacks that I've been through. I'm so sick of fucking Donald Trump, man. God, I'm fucking sick of him. And I'm not doing this because it's like I'm kissing his ass. It's just like I'm sick of it.
All right. So why do I even need to listen to this guy?
Why is he even in the conversation?
Why is he even in the conversation?
Why does General Flynn and Roger Stone prop him up? And why was he the main target of Q? Why would it was one of the very first people that Q targeted was Alex Jones and the Alex Jones Network, as far as directly sending people there to ignore his rhetoric, because he was going on the air saying that he knew Q and that he had met Q and that Q was his friend Zach. He was making all this crap up, and so Q came out literally and slapped him down, and we put him in a corner. Alex Jones was in the corner until Donald Trump lost that election. People were starting to forget who this guy was, and he was flipping out.
Now, that brings us to, we've seen General Flynn on that show many times, Ivan Ranklin and Vandersteel. So the network, the Mossad Media Network, has actually coalesced into one, guys. Roger Stone, Alex Jones, Ann Vandersteel, General Michael Flynn, Ivan Ranklin. Anybody else? I'm sure we've got others.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the whole lot.
Yeah, the whole lot.
The whole lot that is over there, whether it be Liz Crokin, whether it be Crux, whether it be Pepe Deluxe, whether it be, just
all of them.
All of them.
All of them.
Charlie.
Now, so General Flynn was caught grifting again, Shady Grove, charging folks at a sports bar to hear him ramble, hinting that Trump is using people in and out of the administration, and that's why he's in a sports bar with a small crowd. He was fired in 23 days for lying to Trump. The hustle never stops. Shady, listen to this.
Your relevance is fading.
It looks like it was a 50th birthday party that double booked. Look at this, people.
All right, I'm going to take a couple. Yes, sir. Way in the back. Right
Patrick Byrne, right.
Do I think Trump will use me again? well, I mean, that you can. Trump uses people very shrewdly, inside and outside. Okay, very shrewdly. So
let's just listen.
Don't discount what I'm doing right now. Okay? Don't discount that.
Don't discount that, Shady. Do not discount it.
All right, I'm going to take a couple. Yes.
Wow. You should have seen Shady in the background.
That was being so rude.
Wow.
That was your eyes only.
Yeah. So, and let's just not forget.
The FBI director, who is a friend of mine, a great friend of mine, we've done a bunch of things together, we've testified together. A couple of weeks ago, lays out in rhyme and verse.
So he's talking about James Comey.
And that was in what, like 2015?
17. Yeah, it was 2017, Shady, because that was about the Hillary email stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. That they, nothing happened on.
Yeah, there was
every time people say nothing happened, it's because these operators get involved.
That's
so
correct.
Let's release the Epstein files to these operators. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, that sounds like a great
reasonable.
Idea. Yeah,
right?
reasonable. Yeah, completely.
All right. So I just wanted to just so then General Flynn is on X and True Social talking about the Israel war, Israel versus Iran, Israel our war. Right now, Iran our war. It is not our war at this time. Okay. No. And he doesn't need to tell Donald Trump anything. Donald Trump has his own band of trusted advisors, and General Flynn is not one of them. It's just a fact, guys. I'm sorry. And this is a Trump movement, okay? If you are a Flynnian or a Flynn person and you think that you can't like Trump because if you don't like Trump, you don't like Flynn, that's not true. I don't like Flynn, but I like Trump.
Yesterday was an amazing parallel for us to see exactly the example that we're presenting to you right now. Perfect example. Look at everything. If you go read through his X post, like every single thing he's been saying has been like doom and gloom. It's war. It's coming down. And Donald Trump is in the bunker, and he's probably having to make some of the most hardest decisions that he's ever had to make. He's out there on the front lawn of the White House making jokes about the E word to the press and saying, "Oh, if I were to use the E word instead of lift about this flagpole, then boy, they'd run me out of town on a rail." That does not seem like a guy that's in a bunker having to make tough decisions. It seems to me like, Jeff, if you paid attention to Q, you would know that Donald Trump wouldn't be worried about Iran at all, because he would realize that they don't have a nuclear weapon. They can't fire off a nuclear weapon. They can't cause nuclear chaos. They've got 500,000 troops. If they start messing with our ships in the Straits of Hormuz, we're going to bomb them to smithereens. So what the frick is the big deal? What are you guys all worked up about? You're worked up because you watch TV.
Shady, so everyone is worried about Iran having nukes, but I'm over here wondering who Jeff is, Shady.
Exactly.
So look at Russia has 7,300. United States has 6,970. France has 300. China has 260. United Kingdom, India, 100 to 120. Pakistan, 100 to 130. Israel, 80. North Korea, less than 10. Where's Iran? Where's Iran?
Jeff, you're down there. You got less than 10.
Where is it, Shady?
It's not on the list because they
Where
don't
is
have
it?
a nuke. I cannot tell you how many people act like they're going to set off a nuke. They don't have a nuclear weapon. Golly. And then I've got people arguing with me the other way too.
Let me show you this.
They're saying, oh, well, you can't say, oh, they don't have, because the people are saying that Iran's not a threat. Okay, Iran is making it look like a threat. The world is pretending that they're a threat. What we're doing is we are pulling the curtain back in the Wizard of Oz so that you can see the guy behind the curtain.
Yeah. By the way, imagine, if you will, Iran, a country just days away from having a nuke since 1992.
Literally.
Right. So people are like wondering that Jeff is on the chart. Yes, I am on the chart, Shady. But Jeff is it's let me just
not you, Jeff.
It is actually, Shady. It's me. I'm in full disclosure, Shady. It's me. Let me see. So FYI, Jeff is the nuclear arsenal chart, and it refers to the Joint Elevated Fission and Fusion File, or JEF. Okay. A nuclear data library, the nuclear agency, energy agency. It's not a person or a country with nukes. It's used for fission and fusion data, like neutron interactions, and was probably a source for the chart alongside CNN and FAS. The confusion comes from the chart listing as Jeff. It's an entity with weapons, as if an entity with weapons, but it's just a database. But I did not see Iran on the list from the Joint Elevated Fission and Fusion File. Did you?
No. And the truth is, you probably have as many nuclear weapons as Iran.
Exactly, I do. 0.
Your fusion file is amazing.
0. Okay. And that's got 5 retweets, 30 likes. If you guys, so I just posted that on True Social because actually somebody posted it on X, and it was beautiful because I was wanting to find something like that for the show. And I'm telling you guys, these people are lying to you. Since 1992, they've been 2 days from a nuclear weapon.
And they've been trying to scare you. And what happened in Trump version 1.0 is that we took away the North Korea threat. If we didn't do what we did in North Korea, if we didn't take out that facility and blow up that mountain like we did, North Korea would still be your main threat. But because we took that out, they can no longer project that as a main threat. They can only like lob a few ICBMs into the North Pacific Ocean. Now look at, they have to fall back to Iran, and they have to say now Iran is the main threat, right? And what happens if they lose Iran? What happens, guys? Think about this. Play this out. Quit being scared. Play this out. What happens if they lose Iran as a threat? What happens if there's no longer a boogeyman? What happens to the military-industrial complex? What happens to the deep state if Donald Trump goes in and makes a deal with these people as opposed to sit there and pretend like we got to fight them forever?
Booga, booga, booga.
It ends, Jeff.
Yeah,
and didn't we come to this conversation to end it? Didn't they say biblical? What does biblical mean? Doesn't that mean God wins? Does God wins mean that we end up destroying the world through chaos and mayhem? Or does it mean we actually get through this and survive?
And where is Iraq, Iran, and Syria? Biblical.
Literally where it all started.
Wow. All right.
Including Israel.
Including ISIS, Ra-El.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right. So let's go to this Shady Grove, because President Trump was not in a bunker. He actually is in the room today giving his intel brief, and he is in the skiff, the situation room. But that's okay. That's where we want him to be, so there's no leaks. But they're all like, oh, he's going to give him a bomb. If he gives him a bomb, we'll report that. But so far, we're not in any war. Okay?
We're not going to be in a war.
We listened to President Donald J. Trump. They're talking about boots on the ground and all this other stuff. And then they're saying that he's always in the situation room 24/7. He's considering dropping bombs on Iran. And meanwhile, yesterday, Trump was all over TV. Well, no, he wasn't, because Fox didn't even show this, because they showed some murder trial of some person I never heard of before, because they need the narrative to show that Trump is out of sight. But he was in the Oval Office yesterday as well. He was putting up 200-foot flagpoles yesterday, all day.
He erected both of them.
He erected 2 flagpoles, 100 feet.
Amazing. Perfectly. They're absolutely straight, Jeff.
Yep. So this is the Juventus team in the Oval Office yesterday. Check it out. And the reporter questions are awesome. Check it out.
Well, thank you very much. We have a great team behind us. Juventus of Italy, and a friend of mine is the owner of the team. He's a fantastic business person, a young guy, and I think it's got the longest string of ownership of just about any sports franchise, but it does have the record in soccer. It's John Elkman. I think you know him. John Elkman is a man that has done a fantastic job in the automobile industry, comes from a lineage of winners. And you have Johnny Infantino, as you know, and he's going to have the World Cup here. We have a game tonight. The game is, where is it, over in D.C., the stadium?
Here, yeah, Holyfield.
And it's totally sold out, I hope.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, good. Well, and you have two great American players on this team. And would you just, where are you, my American players?
Around here.
Fantastic, so good luck.
Thank you.
I hope you're going to be the two best players on the field. Well, I just thought you might want to ask questions, anything about the World Cup or the game tonight, but anything about the World Cup would be great, and Johnny's right here. So anybody have any questions? And I hope you like the, well, I'm a little, you know, he's a friend of mine. It's hard to go against him, to be honest with you. But they have a good team. Who are you playing tonight?
We're playing against the Emirati team.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
That's
strong.
Well, they spend a lot of money, right? They spend a lot of money, yeah. That's probably, is it a strong team, good team tonight? Yeah, you
All
guys-
teams are good. It's the best teams in the world. We're here in America.
Right, Johnny, you think?
Best teams in the world are here. That's what.
Well, we raised the American flag for you guys today.
Well,
It's
it's quite a historic day.
Looks nice out there, doesn't it? Beautiful. Even you agree, right? I think so. Do you agree? No. Most of you agree. So, do you have any questions, please?
Do you know the latest on the evacuations out of Israel, Mr. President? Have
No.
you been updated on that?
No, we're having a meeting in an hour. We have a meeting downstairs in 1 hour. Yeah.
Mr. President, on Iran, if regime change does happen there, if the regime falls, do you have a plan for what you think would
I
happen
have a
there?
plan for everything, but we'll see what happens. Got a ways to go. They should have made the deal. I had a great deal for them. They should have made that deal. 60 days, we talked about it, and in the end, they decided not to do it, and now they wish they did it. And they want to meet, but it's, you know, it's a little late to meet, but they want to meet, and they want to come to the White House. They'll even come to the White House, so we'll see. I may do that, but it's a shame it could have been done the easy way.
Do you think the regime there could fall?
Sure, anything could happen, right? Of that? Sure, that could happen. Yeah,
Mr.
please.
President, the Senate Judiciary Committee is holding a hearing on who exactly was running the White House under Joe Biden. Who do you think that was?
I think the auto pen ran the White House. You know, we have an auto pen president before me. I think it's one of the greatest scandals in the history of this country, one of the biggest scandals. He wasn't making a decision. He was never for open borders where people came in from all over the world, from prisons and gangs and drug dealers and all of that, the mentally insane. He was never for that. He was never for open borders, and he was never for, if you think, he was never for transgender for everybody, or men playing in women's sports. You know, he was never for that. Have you ever had women? Could a woman make your team, fellas? Tell me. You think? You're being nice. What do you think? Think a woman could make the team? General managers, what do you think?
Difficult.
You don't say it. Close.
We have a very good women's team now.
We
You
won
do
the
have, right?
championship.
But they should be playing with women, right? You know, it's one of those things. One of those things. See, they're very diplomatic.
As you're making your decision on Iran, obviously there's been a change from when you were pursuing a diplomatic negotiation.
Yeah.
Now you seem very open to the idea of potentially taking U.S. action. Obviously, you're not going to tell us that. Can you walk us through what contributed to that change, how you got to where you are in making your decision now?
Well, I think it started the first night. I mean, you know, that first night was devastating. And it really knocked the one side off, as you know. It was a devastating evening, day. And it's pretty much proceeded that way. I have a meeting in the war room in a little while. Situation room, as some people call it. So we're going to meet, we're going to see. We're in the midst of it's a terrible thing. I hate to see it. I hate to see all that death, so much death and destruction. but death primarily is what I hate to see.
Does that mean you haven't made a decision yet on what to do?
I have ideas as to what to do, but I haven't made a final. I like to make the final decision 1 second before it's due, you know, because things change. I mean, especially with war, things change with war. It can go from one extreme to the other. War is very bad. There was no reason for this to be a war. There was no reason for Russia, Ukraine. A lot of wars there was no reason for. You know? You look right up there, I don't know, see the Declaration of Independence, and I say, I wonder if the Civil War always seemed to me maybe that could have been solved without losing 600,000 plus people. So a lot of, it's very sad to see. It's very sad to see what's happening. But with that being said, I would say right now, Israel, from the standpoint of winning a war, is doing pretty well. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, in your meeting today with the Chief of Staff of the Pakistani Army, did you talk about Iran? Did that come up? Is there anything you can share from that meeting?
Yeah, well, they know Iran very well, better than most. And they're not happy about anything. It's not that they're bad with Israel. They know them both, actually, but they probably, maybe they know Iran better. But they see what's going on, and he agreed with me. The reason I had him here, I wanted to thank him for not going into the war, just, ending the war. And I want to thank, as you know, Prime Minister Modi just left, just a little while ago, just left. And we're working a trade deal with India. We're working a trade deal with Pakistan. And they were both here, but I was with Modi a few weeks ago. He was here, actually. But now we speak to him, and I'm so happy. There was a deal that two smart people, plus, they have people on their staff too, but two very smart people decided not to keep going with that war. That could have been a nuclear war. Those are two nuclear powers, big ones, big nuclear powers, and they decided not. So I was honored to meet him today.
And if I can speak, sir, and for anyone who may want to answer, how has the travel bans from certain countries affected fans maybe coming in to the games, or is that not a consideration?
Johnny, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's not a concern for us. For the games now in the Club World Cup, everything has been done in a very smooth way. We have an excellent collaboration, of course, with the president, but with the task force in particular. For next year, the World Cup, we have one more year to work, and the learnings that we have this year with the Club World Cup, which is historic, I say this to all the Americans, because it's the first ever Club World Cup, and it's played in the United States of America. So the learnings we'll have for this will apply them next year.
And they're largely sold out, so I don't know. I don't think he's too worried about the travel ban. He doesn't know what the travel ban is, I don't think. Johnny, tell me what the travel ban is. Right? He doesn't know what it is. He's largely sold out. Like tonight is totally, I've had friends, they heard about this meeting. They said, can you give me tickets? I don't know if I can get tickets. He won't give them to me. Maybe John will give them to me. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, two questions, if I could. One about Iran and then one domestically. With Iran, what's your message to Americans, both here and abroad, who are not only concerned about the U.S. potentially getting involved in another conflict in the Middle East, but worry about the potential for retaliation here at home?
Yeah, well, I don't want to get involved either, but I've been saying for 20 years, maybe longer, that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I've been saying it for a long time. And I think they were a few weeks away from having one. And they had to sign a document. I think they wish they signed it now. It was a fair deal. And now it's a harder thing to sign, It's a lot of water over the dam. But, it's I say it very simply. Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. Too much devastation. And they'd use it. I believe they'd use it. Others won't use it, but I believe they'd use it. So that's it. It's very simple as far as I'm concerned. They can't have a nuclear weapon.
And then domestically, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley came out this week as the lead sponsor of a bill to raise the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour. It stands out because he's a Republican. There's still 20 states that have it at $7.25. Do you support the legislation or the idea?
Well, I haven't seen it. I'd have to speak to Josh. He's a very good friend of mine. That's interesting that Josh did that. I'm going to have to think about that one. Some people agree with it, some people don't. Some people say it really turns away business, restaurants close, and a lot of things happen. Other people agree. I'd have to speak to Josh. He's a good guy,
Do you see the
For the Iran, the possibility of an Iran deal, is the destruction or the dismantling of the Fordow nuclear enrichment center, is that a prerequisite for a deal? Is that a red line for you?
No, it's just something that people talk about having. We're the only ones that have the capability to do it, but that doesn't mean I'm going to do it at all. We have the best military equipment in the world. You see that with this fight. We have planes that are undetectable, flying around like, nobody's able to see them stealth. You guys want to be stealthy tonight. You can be stealth, you'll never lose, right? But these are incredible planes and weapons. We have the best weapons in the world, by far. Nobody close. And certain countries take advantage of that. Israel has incredible weaponry. So we'll see what happens. I've been asked about it by everybody, but I haven't made a decision.
Mr. President, you talked earlier today about having daily conversations with Prime Minister Netanyahu.
Yeah.
How have those conversations weighed on you in terms of getting more involved? He's been lobbying for the U.S. to get more involved. Has that had an impact in kind of your evolution, sir?
Look, we talk, and I'd like to see everything done. I would have preferred having just an agreement, a strong agreement, verifiable agreement. But it was such a shame. They were so close. Iran was very close to signing what would have been a very good agreement for them. And maybe that could still happen, I guess. They do want to come and see us. They want to see me in the White House. That's a big statement. But it's very late.
Is it enough of a statement to hold off getting?
We're going to see what happens. Look, we're going to see what happens. Ending it as soon as you can would be good.
Have you closed the door on meeting with them?
No.
Okay, so it's still open to them coming here in your eyes.
They asked if they could come. We'll see if that happens. It's not that easy for them to come. They can't get out. They're in Iran, and in one case, the guy wanted to come so badly, but he can't get out because there's bombs dropping all over the place.
Have you seen the Tucker Carlson and Senator Ted Cruz interview? It seems like this issue on whether or not the United States should strike is kind of dividing a lot of your supporters.
No, my supporters are for me.
Is this dividing you at all, guys? Press 47 for no, and I want to see what you guys think. 47 for no, and then just yes, he's dividing me. For yes division, 47 for no.
You're all divided up.
Whoops. Are America first and make America great again. My supporters don't want to see Iran have a nuclear weapon. Tucker's a nice guy. He called and apologized the other day because he thought he said things that were a little bit too strong, and I appreciated that. And Ted Cruz is a nice guy. He's been with me for a long time. I'd say once the race was over, he's been with me ever since, right? But it's very simple. If they think that it's okay for Iran to have a nuclear weapon, then they should oppose me, but nobody thinks it's okay. People that I don't want to fight either. I'm not looking to fight. But if it's a choice between fighting and them having a nuclear weapon, you have to do what you have to do. Maybe we won't have to fight. Don't forget, we haven't been fighting. We add a certain amount of genius to everything, but we haven't been fighting at all. Israel's done a very good job of that. But we'll see what happens.
So what did he just say, Shady? We haven't been fighting?
Yeah, he said that we haven't been fighting. That would mean that we're not in a war. We're not participating in it. They did not consult us on their strikes, and we have no participation at this juncture.
So we're not fighting Iran? The mainstream news and everybody else thinks we are.
Well, isn't it interesting that the mainstream news and everybody else on our side is syncing up to be pro-Palestine?
Huh.
Isn't that interesting? They're all even David Icke and even Alex Jones and all these people. You could put them over there in that pro-Palestine category right now, couldn't you? I don't understand the difference between them and the people wrapping their faces in Palestinian flags and occupying Colombia.
So, Shady, if everybody's saying, and I've seen Twitter or X or whatever the hell you want to call it right now, everybody's saying that Trump is a puppet of Israel. Is this what a puppet of Israel would do? Not join the war?
No, a puppet of Israel would do the opposite, Jeff. A puppet of Israel would be doing what
already
Bibi told him to do. Yeah, Bibi's already tried to lure him in with a number of different things. Trump is completely ignoring him because they're not actually looking to us for and I think this is great. because really what they're doing is they're trying to do the same thing on both sides. Remember I said earlier about the virtue signal. Israel is virtue signaling. Iran is virtue signaling. What happens if we take it all away from them?
Yeah, McLaughlington says tap dancing. How is that tap dancing?
It's not tap dancing.
Is he tap dancing them? Is that what you mean? I'm not sure.
No.
But it's pretty clear. We are not at war with Iran. He said it.
The argument is over Palestine. Guys, let me explain this to you. The argument is not over bombing Iran. Bomb. The argument is not over Israel. The argument is over Palestine. Okay? Think about what Trump did whenever Bibi was sitting there. He said, we're going to take over Gaza. Do you understand what that means? We didn't say we're going to give Gaza to Israel. He said we're going to take over Gaza and we're going to find a home for the Palestinian people. If you remove the Palestinian people from Gaza, you have removed the need for people to bomb one another. Do you understand this?
Yeah.
He's trying to make peace, everybody. He's trying to fix a situation that has been intentionally made non-fixable. What happens if you can do that? What happens if we elected a president that can fix a situation that has been made intentionally not possible to fix by the people that are making it impossible to fix so that they can continue to lord over you? They can continue to maraud over you in a globalist superstate.
I mean, I don't know why you had to bring your rod into this.
I had to say it right. I just used the hard R.
Come on, Rod. All right.
Rod.
All right, so let's just back this up. Listen one more time, guys.
This is exhausting.
Maybe we won't have to fight. Don't forget, we haven't been fighting. We add a certain amount of genius to everything, but we haven't been fighting.
All right, so we haven't been fighting. It will be up to him. He will do what's best for the American people. Do you guys capiche that, Shady?
Capiche!
Capiche. So we're not fighting, okay? And I'm going to just continue because this is very good. People need, so, the fake news didn't show you really much any of this. In Fox News, when this was live, they were talking about some lady that allegedly ran over her husband or whatever, or a cop. I don't know what the hell it is. Because they didn't show this.
Because they're busy with their network and their Wall Street Journal writing articles talking about how Donald Trump is participating in the war, and he's in there making war plans. They literally were saying that Donald Trump was making war plans whenever the whole day he was out in front of Fox News, and they completely ignored everything that you're seeing right here. Fox News did not play this, guys, and neither did anybody bring any clips from this in and explain this either. They sat on the air all night talking about how we were going to blow up the Middle East again.
Yeah.
It's insane, man. And Trump made a specific statement directly to Fox News.
But we'll see what happens.
Yes, he did. I'm sorry.
The bottom line is they can't have nuclear. And if I can't imagine that Ted Cruz said it's okay for Iran to have nuclear, including Tucker. I don't think Tucker says it's okay. The problem is then they get themselves into a thing. They don't want them to have nuclear, but then they say, well, we don't want to fight. Well, you're going to have to make a choice because it's possible that you're going to have to fight for them not to have nuclear. And it's interesting because I did ask Tucker, I said, well, are you okay with nuclear weapons being in the hands of Iran? And he sort of didn't like that. He didn't want to really, but he sort of didn't like that. And I said, well, if it's okay with you, then you and I do have a difference. But it's really not okay with him. Therefore, you may have to fight. And maybe it'll end, very quickly. But there's no way that you can allow, whether you have to fight or not, you can allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon because the entire world will blow up. Not going to let that happen.
Mr. President,
and the entire world is watching, Shady.
President Emmanuel Macron of France the other day, the G7, it sounded like.
He's a nice guy. Look, he said I was going back home to make a ceasefire. Not a ceasefire. We're long beyond ceasefire. And I said, why do you say that? Why would you say ceasefire? It's a bad term to use. Because a ceasefire means like everything's going swimmingly, we'll take a little time off. It's not. We're not looking for a ceasefire. We're looking for a total, complete victory. Again, you know what the victory is. No nuclear weapon.
Mr. President.
So I thought it was a very badly worded statement by him, and obviously.
It's a very interesting distinction he's making there. Again, Macron is doing that so that he can generate the world narrative against Donald Trump, trying to say that, there needs to be a ceasefire. So they're advocating for a ceasefire. They want Israel to stop bombing their assets in Iran, please. Please stop taking out our clown assets, because we've worked long and hard to get these clown assets in there. We need a ceasefire. Donald Trump is going to go work on a ceasefire. He said, no, that's not what we're doing.
Well, Q also posted about how Renault went into Iran and everything. It's their businesses making money off Iran. That's the problem.
Exactly, and that's exactly the
On
problem.
guard.
That's exactly the problem that we point to about World War II and World War I also, isn't it? Isn't Iran the one that provided the oil to the Nazis? You want to talk about it? Isn't it interesting that all these people scream and yell about how they're pro-Palestine, but they're supporting what? You're supporting Iran, who are doing what? Think about that logically, guys. Like, who is really supporting the globalist superstate here, and who is against it? The Palestinians are the same people.
Let me show you this, Shady Grove, because it's important. This is part of my pay sewer dig. En garde. Okay, en garde is French fencing, right? En garde. Okay. We await your answer. 48. Will the U.S. expose the names of corrupt officials plus con deal? Will Iran expose the corrupt officials? Pickle. Who do elected leaders report to? Pickle. And Pickle is the Heinz Kerry Pickle Factory, okay? John Kerry. This could be him. It could also be the Pickle Factory, right, Shady Grove? The CIA.
In Utah, right.
Who controls elected leaders? Or the farm.
Correct.
Will the U.S. be forced to ban and declare certain EU countries off limits? Why is Kerry in EU? Will the EU resort to protecting the deal so money flow remains in place? Fake news. What about preventing Iran nuclear capabilities? What about the safety and security of the world? Coincidence? What is their purpose? Who recently visited the White House? Iran Daily, and this is a link to about Iranian companies in Iran. French companies in Iran. Total SA is a French multinational integrated oil gas company and one of 7 super major oil companies in the world. What about Total SA? A group representing German trade interests in the U.S. decision to withdraw from the deal will hit German companies and urge the EU to protect their interest. Trade between Germany and Iran reached 3.4 billion euros, $4 billion last year, according to BGA, another foreign trade association. Okay? En garde. They're protecting their assets. We see you. There is no U.S. involvement in the war at this time.
They're doing the exact same thing with Iran that they're doing with Ukraine. You get this? They're protecting their assets. The reason that they won't sign a quote-unquote ceasefire in Ukraine is because they need to protect their assets. The reason that they want a ceasefire in Iran is so that they can protect their assets. Do you guys understand this? This is not rocket science, but they're very convoluted if you try to follow this through any news.
Shady, it might be nuclear science.
Oh, nuclear science. Oh, wow.
Got you there, buddy. Got you there, buddy.
What about rocket surgery?
No.
Oh.
No. So they will not have a nuclear bomb, period. Okay? Period.
We're going to make sure of that.
And you are watching, just to go ahead and, and I'll hit it. We're going to take a quick break here in a minute, but I just want to the military intelligence agencies, along with the CIA and Mossad, are doing this war to goad President Trump, we the people, into this war. We will not have it. President Trump will do what's best for the American people. Watch Trump, not Flynn, not Bannon, not anyone else. Shady Group.
Everybody that you just mentioned also worked to do the same thing to you on January the 6th. They are putting the band back together. Okay, the same exact entities that worked to make sure that Nancy Pelosi and the FBI and General Flynn and the military-industrial complex and the media and the Senate and the Congress all worked together to make January 6th look real good. Well, they're trying to do that now, and it ain't going to work.
Yeah, it's LJE said, did you say assets or asses? Asses. I said ass hats. Ass hats deployed, foreign and domestic. And we really are seeing a lot of ass hats deployed, guys, and foreign and domestic, and some of them are influenced by foreign. InfoWars.
Yep. There's more to it than you can imagine.
We'll be right back after these beautiful boom messages.
hello to all of you beautiful patriots out there.
First of all, let me just thank you all for supporting this show. We wouldn't be here without you. But I have a huge announcement regarding donations.
It has come to our attention that using the Rumble app is taking an additional 30% of your donation to the show.
Let me explain. According to our TOS, Rumble takes 20% of all donations made through the web browser.
And that's a 20%. It's a good deal if you consider other platforms like YouTube and such.
There is a hidden cost that we just found out. For example, we received a generous $500 donation from Spill Tea, and thank you so much for that, from the Rumble app on Apple. So Rumble took 20%, and Apple took an additional 30%. We brought that to Rumble, and they said, well, Rumble's take of tips and donations is 20%. That's if the transaction is done through the web browser. If using the Android or iOS app, it's an additional 30% collected by those platforms.
So please use the web browser to make your donations to the show and avoid the hidden fees by Apple and Android.
That's right. You can also support us at GiveSendGo/HelpMGShow, mg.show/donate. We have PayPal and Cash App. Both are at RealMGShow or $RealMGShow. Please help us out. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
To celebrate our newest launch, Rev 7, I'm bringing you an amazing introductory offer, plus an exclusive overstock sale that you're not going to want to miss. Rev 7 is our premium energy drink that tastes great and gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. That's because there's no sugar and no caffeine. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7 that for a limited time you can try our 3-pack absolutely free. Or check out our Percale bed sheets. I can't believe I'm even going to say this. Every color, every style, every size, only $29.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12-packs or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. And our Percale bed sheets, all sizes only $29.88, even the queens and kings. Inventory is extremely limited, so order now.
Q-Waken is a streetwear brand and a community-driven project blending fashion, art, and digital assets. Built on the XRP ledger, it offers phygital products. Physical items like hoodies tied to NFTs, non-fungible tokens that grant rewards in QWK tokens. Our QWK token powers our d-commerce ecosystem, rewarding you for engaging, holding, and shopping in a decentralized way. Aiming to revolutionize streetwear with a focus on sustainability and community values, Q-Waken was founded in late 2021, and it's tied to the Great Awakening theme, promoting free thought and truth-seeking. Join us at qwaken.club and become active part of the Golden Age.
One party discusses God, one speaks of the dark. One lifts up the light, one tears it apart. Symbolism's their downfall, the truth will ignite. The great deceivers crumble in the MG show sight. When did you see a Democrat leader stand tall, with pride for this nation answering the call? When did they fight the riots, the chaos, the pain, or honor the oath through storm and rain? MG music rises, the sound of the free. United we stand, it's our decree. God wins. When did they call for unity? A nation as one. When did they cheer for the brave, the battles they've won? All assets deployed, their wars in our mind. Infiltration and ruin, destruction design. When did you see a Democrat leader stand tall, with pride for this nation answering the call? When did they fight the riots, the chaos, the pain, or honor the oath through storm and rain? MG music rises, the sound of the free. United we stand, it's our decree. God wins. Information warfare, shadows collide. Faith in humanity, faith deep inside. The truth is learned, never told. MG show unveils what they try to withhold. United we rise, no force can divide. God's light will prevail, the darkness subside. When did you see a Democrat leader stand tall, with pride for this nation answering the call? When did they fight the riots, the chaos, the pain, or honor the oath through storm and rain? MG music rises, the sound of the free. United we stand, it's our decree. God wins. Have faith in yourself, have faith in the fight. The dawn breaks through the endless night. Destruction of America, their plan falls apart. God wins forever in the patriot's heart.
We stand with Trump. We stand with our own knowledge. We need you guys to start digging and not just heroizing people that you thought were good, because I thought people were good and they're not. Shady, welcome back to the MG Show.
So much for everybody for paying attention. It's not easy to pay attention. It's not easy to understand this. I was made aware of all of the yelling that I did in the first hour today, and so I'm going to talk calmly to you right now and say, before Jeff gets me all lathered up for hour number 2, how much I love and respect every single one of you that have decided that you want to do the hard work, because what we're doing here is hard work. It's hard work to understand the truth. The truth is not easy, and you know it as good as anybody else because you've had to deal with what we've had to deal with. It would have been nice if they would have just left us alone and we'd have been able to talk to you and talk to our audience and build a brand, and just like anybody else in America is allowed to do. But apparently, unless we're going out and talking about conspiracy theories that you can't prove, whenever we talk about conspiracies that we can prove and government corruption and specific people in the government who are corrupt and are working against you, that's whenever we run into a problem, and that's whenever this show ran into censorship. And it has a lot more to do with the people that are doing bad stuff to us on our side than it has to do with the people doing bad stuff to us on the Democrat side.
Shady, and I see a lot of new people in chat. Honey Bunny's here. I saw a couple of others here. Thank you. America First Phil joined us again. Thank you, Phil, for being here. Honey Bunny says this. Honey Bunny 87 says, I finally got my dad watching the show. Hopefully he continues. Hopefully you continue to watch us, Dad, because, you know, we're trying to cut through all of the noise, okay? And we have been conditioned and trained, I guess, for lack of a better term, Shady, to see through the psychological operations that are being perpetuated on the American people by people that we thought were, you know, trusted influencers like Steve Bannon, like, General Flynn, like all these people, they're getting it wrong all the time. I mean, General Flynn said that Trump was going to be the president for the next 4 years. He 110% guaranteed it. And that was January 5th, 2021. Guess what? Biden was president. Okay. So right then and there, boom. When people lie, you got to believe them, right? That's a lie. That's a lie.
And you can logic your way through it and say, oh, well, why did they lie? They did this because, it's a make a mistake. Oh, it doesn't matter. What matters is that they came out and they lied, and then had nothing to back it up, and then you realize later that it was intentional. All of this stuff was intentional to gaslight us. Donald Trump was not signing an insurrection act. There is no such thing as the devolution that was occurring was Barack Obama. So effectively, Barack Obama was puppeting General Flynn. Barack Obama was puppeting devolution. Barack Obama was puppeting all of these insane narratives talking about Donald Trump is bringing the illegals here to help us, and it's Joe Biden in a mask. All of those things could be attributed to that in the same way because it's all in the same pond. It's all in the same swamp. The same swamp that brought you J6 is the same swamp that's trying to bring you globalism. Is the same swamp that's trying to say that we got to erase the Democrat and the Republican Party so we can burn it all down and rule over the ashes.
Now, don't worry, guys. We will show the press secretary, Yeti. I do have it. It's right here, ready to go, just so you know, so you don't have to worry. I'm monitoring it. She is not there yet because, yes, Badlands is bad, okay? They attacked this show. We, the media, attacked this show once I went against General Flynn because all of these influencers were injected into your movement to mislead you on Q posts.
Well, it's devolution. Devolution is the poison pill. Okay, so you say, what information is only good if information is accurate. Devolution is a poison pill. Devolution was not only sent to undermine the patriot movement in Q, it was also sent to undermine Kash Patel and a number of people that were in the Trump administration that Trump deemed allies. Okay? And so you can clearly see he put Kash Patel as the FBI director, so Kash Patel is an ally. And what did devolution do to Kash Patel? Devolution made everybody think that Patel Patriot was Kash Patel. So when Kash Patel came to True Social, the first time he was ever on social media after his long stint in government service, after he came to social media, all of a sudden he's this guy who's trying to tell everybody that Donald Trump is really still the president. So he spends 6 months trying to beat this stupid narrative down. No one will listen to him because the millions of people are already in the tank for devolution because the Q people got absorbed when Donald Trump stepped away in 2020.
So Kash Patel via a proxy, Rhino, came to us, had a call with me, Alex Shady, and some other people saying we want to destroy this guy, okay? Kash Patel didn't like Patel Patriot, period.
And so we blew up We the Media.
And that's why you got Badlands.
and there's no longer, because what we were trying to do was get them to say, okay, if you guys want to be Badlands, be Badlands. We're We the Media. The We the Media people that Jeff was associated with were the people that were around for Q. So that Jeff, again, thought that these people were like, okay, they're being fooled right now. They'll get over it. No, the people like Jordan Sather still aren't over it. They still think there's some sort of merit to devolution, because if they don't, John Harold will throw them right the hell out of there.
Yeah, and his Playboy bunny.
And they'll work together to out you.
All right, so
but it's not a Mossad media matrix in America.
Let's go to this. So this is a refusal to provide coverage of successes, using the Fed to increase rates to counter growth and project POTUS to blame. So this is Donald Trump's post, okay? I'm going to show you that I think we got a little bit of a decode here, okay, while we're waiting for Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt. Too late, Jerome Powell is costing our country hundreds of billions of dollars. He's truly one of the dumbest and most destructive people in the government, and the Fed board is complicit. Europe has had 10 cuts. We have had none. We should be 2.5 points lower and save billions of dollars on all of Biden's short-term debt. We have low inflation. Too late's on the America, and too late's, meaning Jerome Powell, is an American disgrace. Okay, so this is the post right here. The plan is to have the Fed raise interest rates, steep incline, beginning in March 2019 in an effort to kill the economy prior to the 2020 presidential election. And it was known and planned for. Structure change coming. Okay, so we hear about structure change. So was the Fed in 2019, that rate hit hike blitz kicked off the March 19, right? To crash the economy pre-2020 election. We thought we would have won. In fact, we did win, but you know how that goes. And, was that just the start? Is the Genius Act the structural shakeup that they're hiding? Powell's too late moves hint at bigger plans. So this is Trump's post. The Senate just passed an incredible bill that's going to make the America the undisputed leader in digital assets. Nobody will do it better. It's pure genius. Digital assets are the future, and our nation is going to own it. We are talking about massive investment and big innovation. The House will hopefully move lightning fast and pass a clean Genius Act. Get it to my desk ASAP. No delays, no add-ons. This is American brilliance at its best, and we are going to show the world how to win with digital assets like never before. Now, remember, we talked about brilliant anons. They're lightning fast, thunderstruck. I mean, there's a lot of cool little hints in here as well. Genius. I've got the best ad agency, right? The keyboard warriors. You guys are geniuses. So look at this. Federal Reserve ending structure. So we're not ending the Fed. It's going to have a different structure. And this could be exactly what it is, because if you look into what the Genius Act is, it's pretty interesting. So the Fed will be addressed, in my opinion. Have you seen the Genius Act? If you don't want to cut the rates, then fine. Watch this. This is going to create a Federal Reserve restructure, but at the same time, the Fed has to issue the assets backing the stable coins. This has never been attempted in the history of the world. In fact, if you go right here, you will go to Grok and we'll ask him about it, okay? And this post, blah, 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 references QAnon, blah, 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 blah. All right, so what is the Genius Act? Okay. How do I make this bigger? Like this? Okay, there we go. See, there's the Genius Act. There's the genius of Grok, Shady. Look at that. Okay, here we go.
It takes it a second.
All right, so issues utilize stablecoins, a landmark piece, and we're still waiting for Karoline Leavitt. Don't worry. It's a landmark legislation recently passed by the U.S. And you guys don't realize that all of these coins and all this bit is in Hong Kong, okay? So full F all that crap? No, James. Make it come here to America, okay? Whether you like it or not, I get it. And that's okay.
It needs to be here. I'll explain it after he gets done.
Yep. So the key provisions. Oh, Troyus, $100 Rumble rent. I hope I did this right. And you get the max. You're the best. You are the best. Thank you. And I haven't seen you in this show either. Welcome. Good. Wow. Amazing. So the act, the act establishes the first of its kind federal framework to oversee payment stablecoins, addressing the lack of regulatory oversight in the growing sector. It mandates 100% reserve requirements, ensuring that the stablecoins are fully backed by high quality, low risk assets. In other words, U.S. Treasury securities, rather than riskier investments like corporate debt or equities. Transparency requirements compel issuers to disclose the reserve backing of their stablecoins, reducing the risk of depegging where stablecoin loses its one-to-one value. Federal and state coordination, and this is a lot different than the Federal Reserve running Bitcoin. Okay, guys, you guys, this is totally different. This is more of a we the people kind of thing. And Shady, I'll let you have it in a second. But the legislation requires state regulators to adopt frameworks substantially similar to the federal standards, creating a unified regulatory approach. It allows private companies to issue digital dollars with federal government approval, integrating the conventional financial firms into crypto ecosystem. Economic and innovation goals supporters, including Senator Christian Gillibrand, argue it will protect consumers, enable responsible innovation, safeguard dominance of the U.S. dollar. The act is seen as a step towards mainstreaming digital assets, potentially boosting U.S. leadership in the global cryptocurrency market, as highlighted by President Trump. The Federal Reserve involvement. The bill could compel the Federal Reserve to issue assets backing stablecoins, a novel development that might restructure its role. This aligns with the discussions in the X thread you're interested in, where users speculate it could lead to a Federal Reserve restructure or even its eventual dissolution, a narrative echoing 2018 QAnon posts. Okay. Context and political. I mean, we can just leave it there, but basically it takes it out of the hands of China, Shady.
Effectively, that's exactly what it does. And so let me give you guys a little rundown, real quick synopsis of exactly what's going on here. All of this stuff around cryptocurrency was created as a way for the quote unquote deep state to settle financial transactions without having to utilize banks and normal surface transaction portals, so that they couldn't be tracked, so that they couldn't be seen, so that they could actually do business with people that other people couldn't see. That's why Bitcoin was created. It was not created as an actual tool for the people. It was created as a tool for the elite. What's going on right now is we are dismantling that control structure. We are working on moving it into America so that we can regulate it properly, so that it can actually have oversight into the mechanics of not just Bitcoin, but crypto in general. Because we want crypto to be anonymous, and we want crypto to be functional, but we also don't want it to be a scam. And what's going on currently is all these countries are utilizing all these weird things through the Bitcoin networks to scam you, and none of these other networks are allowed to flourish. If we bring it back here, we can open it up, and then networks like XRP and Ethereum and other things that are suppressed by the system of Bitcoin will be freed up and actually under a regulatory body, instead of the Wild West Chinese craziness that we have right now, and all these scam coins and meme coins and all this stuff. It's actually garbage.
Yeah. And, I get it. So Jules Pedro says, should we be buying crypto? I'm not your financial advisor. You talk to that person. And nor is Shady or this show. We don't recommend anything. We recommend you to buy gold and silver for Dr. Kirk Elliott. Use code MG.
That's about the only financial advice we're going to give you, and that is sound advice.
Yeah. So that's what's the link? Dr. Kirk link. Call 720-605-3900. Also, you can use the link, and Yeti will drop it. What is it? mgshow.link/gold. Yes. I remembered. Thank you, Yeti.
Very good.
That we really understand. And no, don't buy don't buy 8 coins or ICE from Enrique Terrio. I mean, it's all scammers, guys. These people are scammers.
You mean you're not going to send them to get the Hot Tua Girl coin?
The Hot Tua Girl? Well, hey, I'm not going to tell you to Hot Tua or not. You can Hot Tua all you want, bro. I don't. You know what I'm saying?
I'm being quiet.
Kimmy Max says, been on vacation and work, super busy, but I'm still out here appreciating what you guys do. If not, I live on replay. I'm not just comfy. I'm downright snuggly. I love that, Kimmy Max.
That's a great comment. Thank you for making that comment, because aren't you seeing everybody else with their hair on fire? You guys are cool as a cucumber. I see our audience on X every day. They're mild mannered. They're like going at these people. They're cutting off their narratives at the knees. They're not buying it. They're laughing at them, mocking them. Meanwhile, these people seem like the most serious people. Did Donald Trump seem serious yesterday whenever he was talking about lifting that flagpole? He seemed like he was in a pretty good jovial mood to me.
But wait.
He's in a bunker all day because he's going to bomb Iran, and we're in the war, Shady.
What's the price of eggs?
Eggs, Shady. Eggs, baby.
I love to hear you say eggs.
Yeah, I mean, guys, so listen to your president, okay? That's all we're doing. We don't have any, magic, wand or anything. Like, we just watch the president. We don't watch all these other grifters on other, channels. People are like, what else do you watch, Jeff? I really don't watch anything. I can't, because I don't want to taint my view of what I'm seeing. And my view is directly at Donald J. Trump and his cabinet. Okay. I know that there's no leaks. So people like, CNN saying, oh, somebody said that he's about ready to use a bunker buster. That's not confirmed. That's sources say. Never trust anonymous sources or sources say.
Mm-hmm. Because especially right now. Because before, whenever the sources would say, well, it would be like an Alex Jones would be a source saying something because he's already been sent a memo about what it is that they're going to try to do, so he knows how to characterize it. The same exact thing is going to be memos sent down to the Nancy Pelosi layer of people so that they know how to characterize it. Currently, none of the memos are showing up in their inboxes. Yeah. So they're all doing something different, and it seems very confusing. And now they're starting to it's interesting because they're starting to go at each other a little bit, which is one of the first times we've actually seen that, which we did expect to start to occur.
That's right. Troyus, thank you. Welcome to the actual official. You signed up for the Red Castle. Thank you so much. You are now a monthly supporter. Appreciate it. We got another gift of a monthly support from Christy. So if somebody like Christy gives you a subscription to the MG Show, that lasts for 30 days, and you can go ahead and keep it if you'd like, and we'd love you to keep it. Isn't Q an anonymous source? No. Q asked questions, and we answered them. I'm Jeffrey Peterson.
Yeah, and so Q would be considered an anonymous source until it got connected to Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Early on, Q was an anonymous source, and no one really understood exactly what was going on. And then as it progressed, it connected itself directly to Donald Trump as being Q plus within the post. So from the drops that were being given to us, it was initiated or authorized by the person who was to be the commander-in-chief, the only person that would have the authority to authorize such an operation.
Why is this show so on target all the time? And why is this show the target of attacks all the time? Why?
Why would you need to censor us if what we're talking about isn't real?
Right. It's like Bigfoot. Q is an anonymous source. It's like Bigfoot. It's a conspiracy. Why are we attacked so much?
No, they don't attack anybody that mentions Bigfoot. I mean, they make videos of Bigfoot's eating Viagra, and it's fine.
We even have a Yeti as a producer.
We do. We tried to assimilate.
I tell you. All right, real quick, too. President Trump has signed the executive order extending the deadline for TikTok LLC, closing for 90 days, September 17th, 2025. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Boom, boom, boom. But what's interesting here is Torch kind of nailed something here. Look at September 17th. Fight, fight, fight. Today, June 19th. Free Iran. Fight, fight, fight. Regime change. People have the power. We stand with you. Do you guys understand this? Attention on deck, memes at the ready, lock on target, fire at will. This is a delta from today, guys, okay? We know that it's the people that need to stand up, okay? Not General Flynn's money machine.
Exactly.
Wow.
Wow, that's a nice catch, Torch.
Yep. I like that guy for whatever reason. I don't know.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I like the guy.
Better be careful.
I know, because everybody that we like ends up not. They
end up coming at us sideways somehow.
Sideways, like, Cheetos and some other people. So these are my Q post threads. Let's go ahead and look. This is 19th. So let's just quickly, while we're waiting for the White House press secretary, there she is there. We're waiting. Okay. So don't worry. But this is interesting. We're talking about Amanda Renteria. Remember that, guys?
Member?
Huh. So, this is from an anonymous, and yes, we called it QAnon before they, created the straw man called QAnon. Do you remember Amanda Renteria? I mean, this is not just about, trust the plan and JFK Jr.'s FDR. Read it, because this is the bridge between Loretta Lynch and Hillary Rodham Clinton, plus one, Bill Clinton and Loretta Lynch. On the tarmac, there was a witness, okay? Look close behind Bill Clinton. Trusted by Clintons? Oh, we got, okay.
Good afternoon, everyone.
I'll drop that in there. We got our press secretary. Good afternoon.
President Trump's powerful efforts to secure our homeland are working. According to newly released numbers, last month, Border Patrol saw a 93% decrease of illegal aliens crossing the southwest border between ports of entry from May 2024 under Joe Biden, when they encountered more than 117,000 illegal aliens. And this particular statistic is absolutely astounding. In the month of May, under the Trump administration, 0 illegal aliens were released into our country by Border Patrol. Let me say that again.
Zero bubble.
Not a single illegal alien was released into the interior of the United States of America last month under this administration. Let's contrast that to Joe Biden's failed leadership, where immigration officers were wasting their finite time and resources processing dangerous illegal aliens for release into the United States. President Trump immediately terminated that reckless Biden-era practice that undermined the rule of law, jeopardized public safety and our national security, and diverted critical resources away from stopping deadly drugs and violent criminals from entering our country. That's the reason why not a single illegal alien was released into the interior of the United States in the month of May. And as a result, we now have a border that is reaching unprecedented levels of operational success. The efforts by President Trump to stop the illegal immigrant invasion and secure the border in this short amount of time represent one of the greatest achievements by a presidential administration in the history of our great country. With illegal entries being overwhelmingly halted, the Trump administration is dramatically ramping up efforts to arrest and deport all of the millions of criminal illegal aliens that Joe Biden let into our country over the past 4 years. President Trump has directed all of our ICE officers to do everything in their power to carry out the single largest mass deportation operation in history. Illegal criminals who are hiding in America's largest so-called sanctuary cities will be increasingly targeted for removal. Radical Democrats will no longer be allowed to shelter illegals who threaten public safety as part of their cynical efforts to expand political power, drain the American taxpayer, and artificially lower wages and steal American jobs. ICE officers are courageous heroes, upholding the rule of law and keeping our citizens safe. And they have the full and unwavering support of this president. In economic news, President Trump's pro-growth agenda is delivering for the American worker. Through the first 5 months of the Trump administration, real blue-collar wages are up nearly 2%. It's the strongest growth in nearly 60 years and a stark contrast from the negative wage growth seen during the first 5 months of the Biden administration. America is quickly returning to the successful formula of the first Trump administration: low inflation and rising wages. Once the big, beautiful bill is passed, this positive trend will only accelerate. Senate Republicans are continuing to push this critical legislation forward. The One Big Beautiful Bill will drive growth and supercharge the American economy. The Council of Economic Advisors found that the One Big Beautiful Bill will raise take-home pay by nearly $14,000 for a year for the average family of 4. The CEA also found that the One Big Beautiful Bill will increase wages as much as $11,000 for the average worker in America. The One Big Beautiful Bill expands the child tax credit and makes it permanent for more than 40 million families with children. And the bill will deliver no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and substantial tax cuts for our incredible seniors. Simply put, the One Big Beautiful Bill is a massive win for middle-class America. When nearly 80 million Americans sent President Trump back to this White House, they were doing so expecting these popular policies to be enacted. Republicans in Congress have a mandate to deliver, and President Trump demands they send this historic bill to his desk for signature by Independence Day, July 4th. The American people are fully behind President Trump. According to brand new polling from Insider Advantage, a clear 54% majority of Americans approve of the job President Trump is doing. That's because this president is keeping his promises and taking action every day to improve their lives. And passing this bill will help fulfill a number of President Trump's core campaign promises. Now, regarding the ongoing situation in Iran, I know there has been a lot of speculation amongst all of you in the media regarding the president's decision-making and whether or not the United States will be directly involved. In light of that news, I have a message directly from the president, and I quote, "Based on the fact that there's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks." That's a quote directly from the president for all of you today. So we'll kick it off for questions here in our new media seat. We have Eli Lake from the Free Press. Eli, go ahead.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.
The Free Press. The decision to extend the, delay in enforcing the TikTok ban.
Sure.
Can you talk about how the White House understands its constitutional authority in light of the Supreme Court's decision in January that said that the president had to enforce the ban?
Sure. Well, as all of you know, because the president put it out on his Truth Social today, he did sign an executive order to extend the TikTok ban for 90 days. So in the effort to make a deal. And the White House counsel and the Department of Justice have reviewed this executive order, and I can get it for you. I think it's on our website by now. If it's not, my team will now put it up immediately. And you can read the language in that executive order. And the White House counsel's office and the Department of Justice strongly believe in the legal rationale for this executive order. They wouldn't have the president's pen hit it if they didn't. And the political reasoning for this, of course, is because the president made a promise to keep TikTok on. There are 100 million Americans who use this app. It's wildly popular. He also wants to protect Americans' data and privacy concerns on this app. And he believes we can do both things at the same time. So he's making an extension so we can get this deal done.
Can I get a follow-up?
Sure.
A few weeks ago, Tucker Carlson reported on a meeting between the president, Mark Levin, and others at the White House. Is there a leak investigation, and can you say who else was in that meeting?
I'm not aware of a leak investigation at this time. I, for one, do not reveal details about the president's private meetings without his permission to do so. But certainly the president does not like when people leak. He takes that very seriously. This entire administration takes that seriously, and that's why you've seen at agencies some of the cabinet secretaries have been given the authority by the president to let go of staff who are engaged in such leaks, especially those that risk American national security. Sure, go ahead.
Caroline, thank you. So Rhino warmonger Lindsey Graham, he recently called on the U.S. to go all in.
That's quite the lead to a question.
Right. What's your message to everyday Trump supporters? Not the Tucker Carlson, but everyday Trump supporters, grassroots, voted for President Trump, stopped the wars, rejected this in the primary, going into another war, and they want to see non-U.S. involvement.
Trust in President Trump. President Trump has incredible instincts, and President Trump kept America and the world safe in his first term as president in implementing a peace through strength foreign policy agenda. And with respect to Iran, nobody should be surprised by the president's position that Iran absolutely cannot obtain a nuclear weapon. He's been unequivocally clear about this for decades, not just as president, not just as a presidential candidate, but also as a private citizen. In fact, I have some quotes for you. In 2011, President Trump said, America's primary goal with Iran must be to destroy its nuclear ambitions. We cannot allow this radical regime to acquire a nuclear weapon that they will either use or hand off to terrorists. In 2015, the president said the problem is that Iran poses an existential threat to Israel, our Middle Eastern allies, and the United States. And of course, the president has repeated that in his first term as president and his second term as president as well. That's why he was adamantly opposed to the disastrous Iranian nuclear agreement that was implemented by President Obama. And it's why he has given great latitude and given a lot of effort to achieving a diplomatic solution. But he's been very clear. Iran went for 60 days when he gave them that 60-day warning without coming to the table. On day 61, Israel took action against Iran. And as I just told you from the president directly, he will make a decision within 2 weeks.
A follow-up?
Sure. Go ahead, Natalie.
Thanks, Caroline. Can you confirm whether Steve Witkoff has been in touch with the Iranian foreign minister? And does Witkoff plan to go to Geneva tomorrow for talks?
I am not tracking that on Mr. Witkoff's travel schedule, but I can certainly check in with him to be sure. As for correspondence between the United States and the Iranians, I can confirm that correspondence has continued. As you know, we were engaged with 6 rounds of negotiations with them in both indirect and direct ways.
Thanks, Caroline. Just to clarify the president's statement just now, when he says that he'll make a decision in the next 2 weeks, is he saying that if Iran does not come back to the negotiating table within the next 2 weeks, that the president will strike?
The president is saying that he will make a decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks. Very clear and direct.
Is he seeing any signs of progress? He obviously is holding out hope for negotiations, but is he seeing any inklings of progress that give him that hope that talks are still possible?
Well, that's why he said in the statement that I just read for all of you, based on the fact that there's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, he will make that decision within the next 2 weeks.
What makes him think there's still a substantial chance, is my question.
I'm not going to get into the reasoning and the rationale the president believes that, but that's his position, and he will make a decision within the next 2 weeks.
Thanks, Caroline. President Trump has said previously in regard to Russia, he's used this phrase about 2 weeks several times in terms of we expect a 2-week deadline and then you give another 2-week deadline. How can we be sure that he's going to stick to this one on making a decision on Iran?
Well, in those deadlines, as you've seen in respect to Russia, Ukraine, might I add, these are 2 very different, complicated global conflicts, as you know, that the president inherited from our previous incompetent president in the weakness of the previous administration. And the president has spent a tremendous amount of time and effort cleaning up these crises that were caused by the last administration's just complete dereliction of duty on the world stage and American weakness. Now we have American strength again. With respect to Russia and Ukraine, because of that American strength and the president's leadership, we have seen these 2 sides engage in direct negotiations. And the last time the president said 2 weeks, you saw Russia and Ukraine have direct negotiations for the first time in years. And so the president is always interested in a diplomatic solution to the problems and the global conflicts in this world. Again, he is a peacemaker in chief. He is the peace through strength president. And so if there's a chance for diplomacy, the president's always going to grab it. But he's not afraid to use strength as well, I will add. Francesca.
Thanks, Caroline. What exactly would a deal with Iran need to entail?
No enrichment.
No nuclear weapons. Hello.
Would absolutely not. Iran is not absolutely not able to achieve a nuclear weapon. The president has been very clear about that. And by the way, the deal that Special Envoy Witkoff proposed to the Iranians was both realistic and acceptable within its terms. And that's why the president is sent that deal to them.
Follow up on what you told Natalie. Are the talks that the United States is currently having with Iran direct, or are those through intermediaries? And if so, which countries are acting as the intermediary right now?
Out of respect for the ongoing discussions and negotiations, I am not going to get into the details of them. We've provided you confirmation for now. Go ahead. Sure, and then behind you too.
Sorry, so thanks. Sorry, on the topic of negotiations and talks, does the president have any hopes or specific expectations for the talks tomorrow between European foreign secretaries and their Iranian counterpart?
Well, certainly the entire world is on the president's side when it comes to the fact that Iran cannot obtain a nuclear weapon. This is something that pretty much all of humanity, except for the Iranian terrorist regime themselves, agree upon. And so the president expects that Europe will deliver that message directly to the Iranians.
Why does President Trump believe that this 90-day extension on TikTok will provide more runway perhaps than the previous extensions that haven't led to a divestment deal?
Because it's more time to make a good deal. Simple question. Dasha?
Thank you so much. I know things are going day by day right now.
Do you see these people? They want a war with Iran right now. President Trump said he'll make his decision in 2 weeks because it gives him more time to make a deal because he doesn't want to go to war with Iran. What don't people understand?
They won't be able to make anything in the press, Jeff. They won't be able to sell any clicks. They won't be able to drive any narratives if they don't know. They don't have any intel sources in the background. They can't conjure up fake stories because her and the president keep coming out and knocking them down as they get generated.
And what are the terms going to be for the Iran deal?
No nukes.
Oh, it's that simple, huh?
It really is, man.
Wow.
I mean, I don't really understand. They can understand complicated stuff like women can be men, men can go into the ladies' room. Those things, these complicated concepts, they get that right every time, but they can't understand no nuclear weapons. Exactly.
Back to Karoline Leavitt. Here we go.
Now the president wants maximum optionality. Is the possibility of the U.S. getting involved in regime change in Iran at all on the table at this point?
No.
The president's top priority right now is ensuring and providing peace and stability in the.
On Medicaid, Caroline,
Sure.
the Senate put forward Medicaid provisions, particularly a lower cap on state provider taxes that hospitals have said would lead to mass closures, particularly in rural communities. Is the president willing to sign a bill that includes those provisions that Republican senators like Josh
They're worried about Planned Parenthood, just so you know here, okay? Continue.
Hawley say will lead to hospital closures?
Out of respect for the ongoing discussions that the White House is very much actively involved in with our friends in the United States Senate, I won't comment on that specific provision. Look, the bill hasn't been sent to the president's desk yet. There's more room for change. The president, for one, I will reiterate, has been very clear on his priorities with respect to Medicaid. He wants to see waste, fraud, and abuse ridden from the system to protect it for tax-paying citizens who deserve of those much-needed benefits. He wants to prioritize the sick, the needy, the poor in this country who deserve those benefits, not the 1.4 million illegal aliens who are receiving them. And he wants to make sure this one big, beautiful bill kicks those illegal aliens off of this program to preserve it and protect it and strengthen it for the American people. And the president has been very clear in that message to his friends in the Senate. Jackie.
Thank you, Caroline.
Sure.
Logistically, if the Iranians are getting to Geneva, does that mean they've found a way to get to the White House?
I am not going to get into hypotheticals, but as you heard from the president yesterday, they have expressed interest in doing so. Philip.
Pressure on the president to come to the aid of Israel. There's a lot of pressure on him to finish the job with force. How is he balancing the concern that if he doesn't choose to do that, that it would send a message to Xi Jinping about the U.S. commitment to Taiwan?
Well, the president enjoys a very respectful and cordial relationship with China's president. He has long maintained that, even in his first term. And China and the United States share many strategic interests, both in terms of economics and also, of course, global affairs and foreign policy as well. However, when it comes to balancing these different viewpoints, the president is balancing a lot of viewpoints, and he is listening not just to other world leaders, but to his advisors and to people here in the country and the American people too. And I think that's what makes this president such a great leader, is his ability to listen, and make a good decision on behalf of the American public based on his instincts and his experience. Don't forget, this is a president who was here before, and the world was a much more peaceful and stable place when he left office than when he came back in after the past 4 years of complete incompetence by the previous president. Philip, go ahead.
Thank you, Caroline. Two quick questions. When the president says Iran is very close to a nuclear weapon, is he relying on U.S. intelligence or intelligence sharing from an ally to make that assessment?
He's relying on the stuff that they've been saying since 1992, okay? I mean, hello?
It is a fact, and the United States government maintains this fact, that Iran has never been closer to obtaining a nuclear weapon.
And if the U.S. were to take some type of military action, would the president go to Congress to seek war authority?
I'm not going to engage in hypotheticals. I gave you the statement from the president. He'll make a decision within 2 weeks. Sure, go ahead.
Thanks, Caroline.
Mary and then Elizabeth.
Two questions, one on Iran and then the second on something Jasmine Crockett said this morning. So given that we know the Iranian government did order an operative to assassinate the president, is there concern that Iran might respond with non-traditional military ways to some kind of strike on Iran, such as another assassination attempt? And has the Department of Justice looked into this last attempt on the president's life?
I believe Secret Service and the FBI have looked into the 2 assassination attempts that took place against the president, both of which were sad days in our nation's history. So I would defer you to the Department of Justice on where those investigations stand. But as for your question regarding Iranian retaliation, I'm not going to engage in hypotheticals again, but I can assure the American public and the world that this administration is prepared and ready to defend American interests and assets, not just in the region, but here on our homeland as well.
Thank you. And then really quick on Jasmine Crockett, she said, I believe, that Trump supporters are mentally ill before calling for bipartisan support against the president. Can you respond to that, especially considering she's a rising star in the Democrat Party right now?
She is a rising star. It's quite something to behold, actually. I hope that she continues to be a rising star for the Republican Party, at least. I think it's incredibly derogatory to accuse nearly 80 million Americans of mental illness. The last time I checked, Jasmine Crockett couldn't dream of winning such a majority of the public as President Trump did. And the America First movement, which President Trump has built, is filled of hardworking patriots, the forgotten men.
Wait. President Trump built it, Shady?
What?
Huh. President Trump built the America. I thought it was Alex Jones and Flynn.
Tucker Carlson. I thought it was Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson, Roger Stone. They're the ones that built it, right?
I mean, I think we
may need to back that up. Get that again.
Okay.
Such a majority of the public as President Trump did. And the America First movement, which President Trump has built, is filled of hardworking patriots, the forgotten men and women, business owners, law enforcement officers, nurses and teachers, and middle America, as we all know, from where you all grew up, outside of this beltway. That's who makes up this president's movement. And Jasmine Crockett should go to a Trump rally sometime and she can see it for herself. Jennifer.
One on North Korea and one on China. On North Korea, they launched some rockets into the ocean today. What does the White House make of that? Do you read any meaning into that timing of that launch? And then on China, do you have any reaction to Xi Jinping's offer of intervening in Iran diplomatically? And are you seeing any signs that China would get involved militarily to support Iran?
I don't believe we're seeing any signs of that at this moment in time. As for Xi Jinping's offer, I will leave it to the president to respond to that himself. As for your question about North Korea, we are monitoring the situation. The Trump administration is in close contact with our new South Korean counterparts as we work together to deter our adversaries and preserve a free and open Indo-Pacific. And no matter where, our adversaries and our allies alike know that President Trump will not tolerate threats against our interests on his watch, even as he works to resolve the wars that he inherited. Alex, go ahead, and then I'll come to you.
Thank you. Is the president concerned about the economy if farms and hotels, et cetera, struggle to find workers?
The president's always concerned about the economy. That's on his mind every day. He wakes up, he checks the markets, he checks wage growth. As I pointed out, it's a record high today for middle class and American workers. So the president's always wanting to ensure that we have a strong and robust economy for the American people and worker, and we do. As for the specific concerns regarding jobs, look, the president has made it very clear we need to remove public safety threats. from the interior of our country. And that remains the focus and the priority of this administration when it comes to deportations, no matter where somebody works. If they're an illegal alien rapist or murderer that was allowed into this country in the past 4 years by this administration, the American people want those types of criminals to be deported from our country. And that's what the president is backing ICE to do.
There was an apparent skirmish between the Chinese and the Philippines in the South China Sea. Just curious if you had any reaction to that, and if the steps you're taking towards the Middle East right now are reducing your capacity to deal with that situation.
I believe that happened as I was preparing and coming out here, so we'll get you a response to that. Certainly we have one, and our teams are always monitoring situations all around the globe.
And one more just on Iran. Just over the past 24 hours, we've seen some Israeli strikes on Natanz, Isfahan, and Kondab nuclear facilities. Is there any assessment just of how effective or what the result of those strikes will be?
What I can share is that the IDF and Israel, I think, have exceeded a lot of people's expectations in their ability to really hinder Iran's nuclear facilities, but also they've taken out key people in the Iranian regime's leadership as well. So this is something, of course, we are monitoring and watching every day, and the president was just in an intelligence briefing. He continues to be briefed by his National Security Council, and he will throughout the duration of this war and conflict. And he also remains...
Wait, so he's not getting outside the numbers... administration,
Nope.
he's not reading Flynn posts?
He's shrewdly ignoring Flynn.
Oh, and just so you guys know, General Flynn is not being followed by Trump on Truth Social and Twitter. Okay?
Correct.
I rest my case.
In constant communication with our Israeli counterparts, most notably Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
Kristen. Thank you, Caroline. We have heard from a number of U.S. officials who say that Iran doesn't want to make a deal, that they are just stringing the United States along. What is to say that they are not going to continue to do so if we continue to give them extensions, now 2 weeks before 60 days?
Look, Iran is in a very weak and vulnerable position because of the strikes and the attacks from Israel. And with respect to the president's statement, I shared that with all of you. And he has been very direct and clear. Iran can and should make a deal. We sent a deal to them that was practical, that was realistic, or they will face grave consequences.
Why is Steve Witkoff not participating in the talks this week?
I can ask Mr. Witkoff why he is not.
Thanks, Caroline. Does the president object if Israel attempts its own operation against Fordo in the next 2 weeks?
I won't decide that for the president, nor will I share that here. I'll let him speak to that.
Just another one. Iran is apparently warning Europeans that if struck by the U.S., it may withdraw from the nuclear proliferation treaty. That would result in throwing out inspectors and taking the program dark. What does the president think of the value of having Iran as a full signatory of that treaty?
Well, that's reckless rhetoric, but I understand the Europeans are meeting with the Iranians tomorrow, so we'll see how that meeting goes.
One
Nikki,
more
go
on
ahead.
Juneteenth. Does the
Nikki.
president plan to commemorate the holiday today or make any comment on it?
I'm not tracking his signature on a proclamation today. I know this is a federal holiday. I want to thank all of you for showing up to work. We are certainly here. We're working 24/7 right now. Nikki, go ahead.
Actually, that was my question. Will you plan to mark Juneteenth in any way, either today or with an event later on, maybe next week?
Sure. I just answered that question for you. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Caroline. The fact that this president is giving some time and space for diplomacy, another 2 weeks, does it mean that the president is trying his best to avoid a direct conflict with Iran?
Wow.
I think the president has made it clear he always wants to pursue diplomacy. But believe me, the president is unafraid to use strength if necessary. And Iran and the entire world should know that the United States military is the strongest and most lethal fighting force in the world. And we have capabilities that no other country on this planet possesses. Owen.
Good afternoon. The Supreme Court, as you know, has upheld Tennessee's ban on transgender medical procedures for minors, puberty blockers, hormone therapy, etc. The White House reaction to that, please.
It's a huge victory for America's children, and it's obviously something this administration believes strongly in, that young minor children should not be allowed to be subjected to chemical castration and mutilation. The president himself has taken very strong orders, or has signed very strong executive orders on this. And we are grateful for Tennessee's efforts to protect our children, and we are grateful the Supreme Court ruled on the side of the law, but also on the side of protecting America's innocent children. Elizabeth, go ahead. Sorry, I skipped you earlier.
Okay, thank you so much. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced new vetting procedures on student visas. Will this serve as a model for vetting other foreign visas?
For all foreign visas, yes. As you know, the president signed an executive order, I think it was one of the first he signed in the first week, to strengthen our vetting requirements and our vetting system here in the United States for all visas. He directed the Secretary of State to do that. There was a pause in some of that vetting, as you all know, recently, especially with respect to students from some certain countries. But the vetting has continued, and it's stronger than ever before. As for specifics on how the vetting process has changed, I would defer you to the Department of State. As you know, they're in charge of things like that.
Thank you. To what extent is this 2-week delay with Iran the result of interventions by the likes of Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, or the entreaties of European leaders who want a de-escalation?
Look, the president hears all voices across the country, and he makes decisions based on his instincts. And he has always said diplomacy is his first option.
And is he still planning to attend the NATO summit next week?
He is, yes. We will be departing from Washington on Monday morning, and hopefully we'll see some of you there. Kayla.
Thanks, Caroline. Oil prices have been spiking over the last week. Is the president watching the oil market, and is that factoring into his decision-making in the Middle East?
Again, as I said to, I think, Alex's question previously, the president is always watching, and this administration is doing more than any in history to bring oil prices and gas prices here at home down for the American public. They have been plummeting since President Trump's inauguration because of the executive action and the federal action this administration has taken on the home front. But yes, of course, he's paying attention and monitoring that. But as for whether it's weighing into his decision, there's a number of factors that, of course, are. And as I said, he will make that decision in the next 2 weeks. Can't reiterate that enough. Ouija.
Caroline, thank you. With regard to a potential deal, Iran has said it will not negotiate under duress. Does the president believe there should be a ceasefire in these next 2 weeks as the U.S. tries to broker a deal?
That's not what he said in the statement he dictated to me, so I won't get ahead of the president or add anything additional to the statement that he gave me the liberty to share with all of you.
And then just to follow up on how close Iran is to a nuclear weapon, can you clarify when the president said a few weeks away, did he mean obtaining enough enriched uranium to start building a weapon, or did he mean Iran is a few weeks away from completing the production of a weapon?
I'm glad you asked that, Ouija. It's an important question, and it's one, frankly, the media has been getting wrong. Let's be very clear. Iran has all that it needs to achieve a nuclear weapon. All they need is a decision from the supreme leader to do that. And it would take a couple of weeks to complete the production of that weapon, which would, of course, pose an existential threat, not just to Israel, but to the United States and to the entire world. And that is something that the entire world, including countries like Russia, is in agreement with, that Iran should not and cannot obtain a nuclear weapon. And that's why the president believes that, and he's believed that, again, not just his political career, but frankly, his entire life. Michael.
Former, just to be clear.
Correct.
They have the components. Okay,
Correct.
thank you.
Michael.
Caroline, as we look forward to the NATO summit next week, Spain right now is threatening not to oblige the president's request for all NATO countries to spend at least 5% of their GDP. Does the president take issue with this, with Spain right now?
I didn't see Spain's comments. I'll make sure the president sees them, and I can assure you he wants to see all European countries pay their fair share and meet that 5% threshold. It's only fair considering the American taxpayers have given a significant chunk of money to the tune of billions of dollars to support our mutual interests and our assured defense. So I will let him speak to that, but he's made his priorities for our European allies quite clear, including Spain.
Caroline, one last question. When it comes to the president's position on foreign policy in general, is there a phrase that the White House has coined? Is there a Trump doctrine? Does the president like to talk about this? Anyone here in the White House talking about this? And if so, if there is something akin to a Trump doctrine, how would you define it?
America first, always. And with that, I think I'll leave you. I know there's a lot of news in the world right now. As you know, our team is always here to answer your questions. And the president, I am sure, will take more questions from you guys at some point this week, as he always does in the effort of transparency. I appreciate your being here on a federal holiday, and we'll see you later. Thank you.
Wow. So we actually have a president that wants to use diplomacy to stop a war, not run right in and bunker bust, Shady.
Yeah, we need a lot of decoding. Like, it's going to take us like 3 hours to decode that 30-minute presser there.
It's
man.
almost like she said exactly what we said in the first hour. The entire first hour is exactly what we've been saying, guys. You hear it?
It might be the case. Yeah, I think that we're exactly over the target here. And you were saying, before we went to that, about how we just follow the president and how we end up here and how we get to the point that we get in our understanding of what's going on. We listen to the president. We take him for what he says. We don't like hear him say something and then hear, oh, we're bombing Iran. That's not what he said. He didn't say anything like that.
And we're not in a war with Iran right now. Okay?
Correct.
Now,
Correct.
2 weeks he'll make his decision, but there will be a deal done. I'm very, very sure of it. And I'm hoping the Iranian people stand up for themselves and get out from under this corrupt regime that the CIA implanted onto them in 1979.
And they have been controlling the Ayatollah ever since. They were controlling different aspects of the Shah before that, but the money was flowing perfectly. But you know what was happening? The people were getting antsy. The people wanted more freedom. And so when the people started demanding more freedom, well, they had to stop that. They had to initiate some sort of a power play against it. So what did they do? They ousted the Shah. They brought in the Ayatollah. They converted everyone to Islam. And the next thing you know, a rich and powerful society gets dragged back into the dark ages by your globalist overlords.
I want to also show you the Flynn Network is attacking Dan Bongino directly now. Why did FBI Bongino and FBI Cash and Pam Bondi shut down the inquiry into Trump's assassination and refuse to disclose the Epstein files so war whores can pretend Iran was behind the assassination attempts and so the world wouldn't know Epstein worked with Israel? Ivan Ranklin, thinking face, right? So
Well, you're a
actually,
smart one.
actually, Bongino actually replied and says, of course, both. You got to say that. Of course, both of these absurd, ridiculous lies are clickbait BS designed to inflame people during a serious crisis point in our history. We recently gave an interview to Maria Bartiromo where we clearly stated the opposite. Robert could look it up, but that would get in the way of his clicks. Please unfollow this account if you believe this easily discredited moronic nonsense. Thanks.
It's a Flynn Network.
It's the Flynn Network attacking you, Dan. Okay?
And we tried to tell you that, Dan, but you got all pissy with us.
Yes, he did.
X-Man on Twitter, if they attack Flynn, rah, rah, rah. You starting to see it, buddy?
Yes, I think he is. I think he was debriefed in a positive way, Shady Groove.
Yeah,
All right, so we've had a few POTUS posts, Shady. Did you notice that?
I did. I saw 2 of them. Was there
three.
more than 2? Oh, there were 3. Oh, gone.
What's going on?
It went 2 minutes late.
Oh,
actually, it's
man.
4 minutes late. That gong is supposed to come in at 2 till, and it's 2 after.
So what's going on? Why do we even have?
I'm pretty sure it's got to be the daylight savings time, man. That's the only thing it can be.
It's daylight savings time. So let's just go look. All right, can we
Okay,
just
let's
go
go
look? Yeti, you got a minute? Second. Okay, so this is 122. So let's go look at 1322, 1322 during our show. Okay, and that's Q drop 1. Trip confirmed. Oh, wow. Okay. So let's look at 122 as well, because I'm looking at both now because we're at, this is a whole different time. What does money buy? How do you prevent tampering? Why do most forms of media left wing? Why is Hollywood left wing? Why is the narrative so important? Why do liberals prefer to defer to racism without proof? No proof. Who's HRC's mentor? Pretty interesting. Okay. So that's that one. Yeah. It's not really too terribly crazy. Okay. And then the next one would be this one right here, Shady Groove. It would be, that's an ad. This one right here, 54% of Americans approve. That's at 124. So 124, 1324. And I'm going to put in the number. What was the number, Shady? 54. 54. Okay. Go look. All right. So let's go start at the bottom. I love this. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope in a future. This one is change trip code, please. Been cracked again. De-whistling research right now. Corrected. We all make mistakes. Busy day.
But
Oh, look at
about
this.
the trip code and then the pluses. And wow, that's interesting.
Because I had posted plus the other day in our chat room, and now we're hitting the timestamps for it. Pretty interesting. All right, the next one here, Shady Groove, is one more. And let's just play the video as well. Let me get it over to here. Okay. This is the video.
We will make America great again. God bless you. Good night. I love you.
Young man.
There's no need to
Okay. That's interesting, right?
Get your greasy paws out of the kitty, Congress. They're trying to set stipulations on the no tax on tips and say, oh, it's no tax on tips up to a certain amount. I think that Donald Trump is saying, no. It needs
All
to
of
be
it.
no tax on tips. It seems like
Just-
that might be a message right there.
These people just need to stop. What was the Truth Social? That was 127. So 21-second video, 127, 1327. And let's see what we got, Shady. I have dumped some crumbs like this over the weekend, which started the intense shilling. At this point, we are far enough along. You can paint the picture without risk of jeopardizing the operation. The graphic is your key, Shady. Let's pause and say hello to the rogue intelligence agencies currently monitoring these threads. Was the money worth it? Titanic. Q. And then it goes to this post here, which is, that's a low blow to an old friend. This is Iran confirms Zarif Kerry meeting in New York.
Look at the name of the at.
We were just talking about John Kerry.
We were. Look at the name on the at of that.
At the 47th.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
At the
And-
47th. This was a post that was made a long time ago, and that is an account that's at the 47th. Interesting.
Wow. But it could be the parallel. I don't know.
Understood.
Syria.
Understood.
I don't know.
I understand.
Syria. Come on.
I'm listening.
So is my freaking phone. All right. So with that, guys, that's our show.
Wow. I mean, I think that was a pretty compelling rendition of how to knock down a bunch of psyops.
Wow. I mean, how many psyops did we just kill today? How many
27.
influencers? I mean, seriously, Shady.
Literally. I mean, every single one of them, because
Be careful who you follow, Shady.
they're trying to get you to be afraid. They want you afraid. They can get you afraid, then you'll start doing really weird stuff, like starting to scream at your friends about, we're bombing Iran.
For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Troyus, thank you again for that. You did do it right. That's just a reminder. All the other people, let me just see. Do we have any coffee? No campaigns available. We do need your donations. Thank you so much. And there's no tax on tips, Shady.
No tax on tips. And as a matter of fact, considering today that they're talking about that, you can now, like you could before on In the Matrix with 3X's account, you can subscribe to Shady at Shady Groove on X.
Let's do that. So you can subscribe to me here on X. There's a subscription button. And if you go to Shady Groove, see where it says subscribe?
Boom! Look, I got a subscribe button.
Let's go. Subscribe to
how they
Shady.
say it ain't so.
Wow. We'll have a bunch of perks, post chats, and digs only for you and more Shady Groove. That's awesome. Like, look at that. Subscribe. Look at, you're subscribed to me. Is that what that means? I don't know. Share your email with Shady by accepting the terms. So go ahead, guys. Subscribe to Shady Groove if you can. It all helps. Everything helps. The Rumble Rants helps. You guys help. And you know what, Shady? We're always wrong until we're right. I got the blues.
Oh man, do you have the what is it? The deep or the psyop? What is it?
The always wrong until I'm right blues, Shady.
Always wrong until I'm right blues. That's it.
Yeah.
Yes, I love this. This is one of my favorites.
Because we are always wrong. Oh, you're wrong. You're wearing red shoes. Read.
You don't listen to the MG show because they're right all the time, but they're wrong right now.
It's going
We
to
love
mess
you
up
guys.
your narrative.
All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you all. Thank you, Yeti. Thank you, everybody. Sign up for premium as well because we got some more pay sewer dig for you. What is the real history of your country? Do you know it? We're going over it tomorrow, second hour. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Shady,
Much
love
love.
you. Love you, Yeti. Thank you all.
Boom.
Wow, what a great show.
What a good show. Good.
I'm waiting for this to load. Hang on.
I mean, would you let that get that
Don't talk to me.
move it over to the left?
No, you're talking to me and you messed me up. We're going to need to address this in counseling.
Yes, sir. I'll be there on time today.
See you guys. Love you. Brian Gamble did that for us. Thank you.
I woke up this morning, clouds hanging tight, stumbling through the dark till I find the light. MG music humming, low and tight. I'm always wrong till I'm right. I got the always wrong till I'm right blues. Hear my plea.
Come on, guys, sing it.
Mistakes keep piling, weighing down on me. MG music plays through the fight. I'm always wrong till I'm right. Folks point and laugh, say I'm a fool, tripping on my words, breaking every rule. MG music brills, cuts the cruel night. I'm always wrong till I'm right. I got the always wrong till I'm right blues. Hear my plea. Mistakes keep piling, weighing down on me. MG music plays through the fight. I'm always wrong till I'm right. Preach or bend, son, you're lost in sin. I said, Reverend, I'll lose till I win. MG music roars, my soul takes flight. I'm always wrong till I'm right. Preacher man said, son, you're lost in sin. I said, Reverend, I'll lose till I win. MG music roars, my soul takes flight. I'm always wrong till I'm right. So pour me some whiskey, let the night unfold. MG music hums a story untold. I'll crawl through the blues till the dawn's in sight. I'm always wrong till I'm right.
www.mg.show. Boom.